Proud, majestic, and domineering, the wild tiger. Wait, taiga, not tiger. Let me reiterate. The wilds of the taiga span the upper northern regions of North America, such as Maine. One can say that boreal forests are the main scene up in the East Coast. Tall, evergreen pines make up the demographic of this landscape, giving shelter to animals such as deer and moose who endure the cold winters. If one were to go walking through the forest and tripped over the ground, it would be accurate to say they were tripping on acid, due to the high content of vitamin C in fallen pine needles that make up the soil content. The trips and falls of the wonderful place are being sadly diminished. Logging as well as drilling for oil have caused deforestation and devastation for this area. The intimidating landscape of the tundra, a harsh and killer cold spectacle of upper northern hemisphere territories like Alaska, Canada, and Russia. Of the creatures that inhabit this wide range of unforgiving space, such as the Arctic fox and polar bear, those that aren't suited with warm fur or are rushing to leave for warmer climates. What makes this place such a tough place to live in is the thick permafrost that makes up the soil quality. Nearly 2 inches of solid frozen ground, colder than your ex's heart, it hardly allows for anything over shrub or grass to take root. The only season it truly has is winter, making it the coolest place around. While it may seem to be the most rugged and battle-hardened environment, the tundra is actually the most fragile of all of them. The slightest change in temperature could lead to throwing off the climate, and this is caused by humans over-emitting carbon. However, due to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, 19.6 million acres of tundra have been saved. That's a ton. It's hot, it's dry, like my humor. It's the savanna. Located in the reaches of Africa, Australia, and South America, the inhabitants of this land are often what one would see on a safari. This is sadly how most animals here end up, on a wall as a trophy or skinned and pawned off. Poachers should keep their paws off these creatures. My anaconda don't, and neither do these rhinos. During the wet season, massive rains flush out the droughts and bring the life substance of water to the plains. Many shrubs, grasses, and small trees take hold and flourish. This brings great humus to the soil, and I'm not talking about the dip, although the natural world is just as nutrient-filled.
If one is parched, they might go for a drink of water and some chapstick. And if there's ever a place that needs a drink of water, it's gotta be this one, the Chaparral. Located in scenic Southern California and other Mediterranean areas, it is known most infamously for its long, hot, and dry summers. The winters are cool and moist. However, for the moist part, California lacks that quality. Because of its hot climate, the soil is thin and close to none of nutrients, although that doesn't stop life from booming. Bobcats, coyotes, and many reptiles call this place home, what with the perfect shrubs and leathery plants to take refuge in. Nowadays, even the human inhabitants have taken to the trend of tanning until they turn as leathery as some leaves. All the sun can be dangerous, though. Humans cause the biggest threat by expansion of wildfires and agriculture, which is good for vineyards, but the animals need water, not wine. Decisions. One might even call it deciduous. Here in the upper and middle ranges of the East Coast, the diversity of broadleaf trees like maple and elm cover the landscape. A deciduous forest is home to deer and bears, as well as many other creatures. One never has to say oh dear when thinking about seasons because this has all 4. Paired with high yearly precipitation, life both in the ground and about thrive wonderfully. Humus from fallen leaves and rich soil allow for groundbreaking growth. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Humans are logging these trees for timber and clearing the land for unnecessary development. This is the largest human-caused problem they have. The only con of a coniferous forest is that it really has none. This landscape is found opposite of the deciduous on the upper northwest coast. The more coastal range gives it its high rainfall and cool summers. Elk and deer are also highly active through these areas. The acidic soil also does make plant life sparse due to the high levels of vitamin C in the coniferous pine needles. These pines of these trees can only be used for logging when it comes to human use and therefore results in deforestation.
Home on the range for these animals won't always be an option due to human invasion and agriculture expansion. The flat landscape and wonderfully nutrient-filled soil make conditions perfect for crops to be grown. If we expect to have any wide open spaces left, humans better get their crop together. Life on the prairie isn't as divine as once thought. Actually, it's rather reasonable, with warm summers and rains that cascade to winters. Those won't rain on your parade. Plus, with the broad open spaces of Kansas in the heart of the central United States, even the longest yard is reachable. Being a flatland, many animals make their homes in the tall grasses and burrows. Rabbits, foxes, and prairie dogs all make their home out on the open range.